We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư, ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. How much the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Sa Đan Thô Sư Chế Đô Yê La Hờ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xế. Nam mô Ta Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Huineng, Great Master YongHua, all monks and nuns and all good advisors, Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Lục Tổ Hòa Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện trí thức A Di Đà Phật. Chư Phật Bồ Tát liêu chủ sư phụ sang rần,各位出家人，各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Hello everyone, today is the 5th of March 2022. We are here to continue discussing the 6th Patriarch Sutra. We are now on chapter 1, slide 467. Okay, let's jump right into it. Text. When he had almost got up Huineng, the Patriarch tossed a rope and bowl onto a rock, saying, "This rope and bowl are tokens of faith. How can they be taken by force?" Huineng then hit in a ticket.
慧能直下衣钵于石上云：“此衣表性，可立弊也，能隐草莽中。”
Okay, 468. So, this patriarch realized that this Huiming was catching up with him, so he's not scared. He's not wrong. The commentary is wrong. He's not scared at all. Trust me, he's a 6th patriarch. How could he be scared? Why didn't you disagree with me when I first explained this? Are you sheeps? Okay, he wasn't scared. So what was he doing? He says, I'm a Buddhist, I'm pacifist. I try to avoid bloodshed. I try to invade other countries. I try to avoid confrontation and avoid and minimize as much suffering as possible. This guy is no match for me. and he's crazy, so I'm going to avoid confronting him. Okay? Besides, I'm Chinese, I'm rarely confrontational. Any disagreement? Okay. So anyway, so the sixth patriarch says, he's after my rope and bowl. And the rope and bowl are sacred objects. Okay? They cannot be taken by force. And what he meant is that they're sacred objects, meaning that he himself is able to fend off Hui Ming. But there's also other Dharma protectors who are there to protect him and protect the sacred objects. And this is what happens in Buddhism. Our treasures, our sutras, our personalities, our patriarchs, our bodhisattvas are very well protected. Okay? It's not that easy to get to them. Very, very difficult. Okay? To inflict harm on these sacred individuals and objects. So he hid instead of confronting him. Text 469. When Hui Ming arrived, he tried to pick him up. He could not move them. He cried out, "Cultivator, cultivator, I have come for the Dharma, not for the robe."
慧明至提多不动，乃唤云：行者，行者，我为法来，不为衣来。
Okay, 470. So Hui Ming, being very strong, very fast, very muscular, very physical, he couldn't even move the rope and bowl. So he says, let's see. So he cried out to Master Huineng. He knew that if the rope and bowl is around, that Master Huineng has to be around as well. So he said, "Oh, I'm here for the Dharma, not for the robe, not for the bowl." Of course, he's lying. Did the sixth patriarch believe him? Of course not. But was he afraid? No, he's not afraid. So 471, Huineng then came out and sat cross-legged on a rock. Hui Ming made obeisance and said, "I hope that the cultivator will teach the Dharma for my sake."
慧能逐出坐盘石上，慧明作礼云：望行者为我说法。
And so 472, so the Huineng, Master Huineng immediately came out and sat in full lotus on a rock. It's kind of interesting for you. It kind of makes you wonder. Master Huineng never really went through Chan training, and he could sit cross-legged. And we have to train ourselves. He didn't. So he cross-legged on rock, and Hui Ming bowed to him, made a full prostration. This is what you're supposed to do to show your respect and deference, and said, "Please teach me. I'm in utmost humility. I'm here to learn. I realize you're a special person. You're no ordinary person." Okay? Yes. 473. Huineng said, "Since you have come for the Dharma, you may put down all conditions. Do not give rise to a single thought. I will speak it for you."
慧能云：如既为法而来，可平息诸缘，勿生一念，无畏汝说。
Okay, 474. Okay, so Master Huineng says, "I believe you." This is interesting. Huineng never taught anyone. But his first reaction is, if you seek the Dharma, you claim you seek the Dharma, I believe you. You're not here to learn to play TikTok or cryptocurrency, whatever. You want the Dharma, I will speak Dharma for you. Okay? But in order to seek a Dharma, this is the precondition, if you will. Precondition of learning is put down all conditions. All right? You put down all conditions and do not give rise to a single thought. Okay, now, so you see, he says, put down conditions. This character here, Ping, how do you pronounce it again? Ping?
丙习诸，诸缘。
The Chinese character, Ping.
Yeah.
Ping, okay? Ping, here it says, was translated as put down all conditions. Actually, Ping here means to banish, meaning as a forceful thing. You banish someone, okay? You also put to rest. Okay, xi is to stop, and all conditions. So, what does it mean? To 丙习chu yuan. You banish and put to rest all conditions. What does it mean? Now you are experienced Chan cultivator. What time is it, boy? Thank you. Still can't tell the time. It's a nice watch. You cannot tell the time. Only I noticed those details. Would notice those details. Okay, so what does it mean to put down all conditions? Yes, sir.
You stop your calculating mind.
Stop your calculating mind. Okay. What else? It's very specific. Yes, too.
Enter samadhi.
Enter samadhi? Maybe. Anyone else? What does it mean, put down all conditions? It's so obvious. It doesn't bother you? I mean, have you been following the story? What's in his mind? What's on Hui Ming's mind? What do he want? He's prepared to kill Hui Neng. So forget it, okay? Stop trying to harm me. Or maybe more like some of you, he is thinking of, since I can't kill him, let me try to fool him. Yes? Don't bother. If Master Hui Neng did not say put down all conditions, then Hui Ming will say, why didn't you tell me? You want to teach me? Why didn't you tell me? You see? So that's why Master Hui Neng says put down all conditions, meaning that what you were plotting, what you were planning, kill me, harm me, now you're trying to con me, okay? Cut it out. I'm not fooled. It is the responsibility for Master Hui Neng to make it clear to Hui Ming the parameters of learning. Don't come to him with the mind of trying to con him, trying to fool him, and expect to be able to learn from a teacher. Okay? And of course, it's too early to ask Hui Ming to even drop the desire for an open bowl, okay? But that's part of the condition as well. But it's not reasonable to expect that from him, okay? But these are conditions where they're gross, they're coarse. He's there to do something very, very coarse, very, very greedy. So put down those conditions. All right? The conditioner brought you here, in other words. Does it make sense? So whatever. So this is a very clever instruction. Whatever brought you here, there's a conditioner brought you here, drop them down. Okay, put them down. Okay? Put them to rest. Can you suspend them for a while I teach you? He's not asking Hui Ming to change right away. He says, just xi is to stop it. Take a break. Is that clear? This is very, very important. The distinction about what it takes to learn, what it takes to absorb the teaching. You can't change overnight. You cannot change instantaneously. But while you're learning, put down all conditions. Forget who you are. Forget about your schemes. Q&A. Is that clear, Korea? Put down all conditions. Don't come to me and say, teach me. That's a condition. If you do that, what happens? You will not be taught because you have conditions. How can you be taught? Go ahead, Q&A.
More thoughts?
Hello. Thai's answer is put down all thoughts.
Put down all thoughts. Yes, it's easier said than done. Okay? It's not easy to put down thoughts. Okay? Especially all thoughts. What's important here from a teaching perspective is to point out the things that are the driving force behind him being there. That's the message. That's the way of training. Okay? And that's good enough. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Very good. 475. After a time, Huineng said, with no thoughts of good and with no thoughts of evil, at just this moment, that is Superior Hui Ming's original face. At these words, Hui Ming was greatly enlightened.
明良久，慧能云：不思善，不思恶，正语末时，那故是名上作本来面目。慧明言下大悟。
Okay. Well, you do like tea, huh? Playing tea, huh? Okay, very good. All right. So after a while. After a while, same thing, right? Isn't it? Okay. So after a while, after a time, meaning that Hui Ming, who also most likely crossed his legs. And then he says, okay, I put down all conditions. So it took him some time to put down all the conditions, all these thoughts and desires, all these schemes. Okay? And when Huineng saw that Hui Ming was ready, but Hui Ming was able to put down all those conditions. Okay? By the way, at Master Huineng's level, he could tell. So that's why when teaching, the timing is very, very important. You have to teach, it's like striking the iron when it's still hot. It has to be at the right time for it. Otherwise, you miss it. Okay, it won't work. What's amazing to me right here okay, is that Master Huineng knew immediately. So the timing of Huineng is incredible for a person who taught someone else for the first time. That's so impressive. That tells you the Master Huineng's wisdom is incredible. So Master Huineng then, you ready. Therefore he gave them the instruction. He says, with no thoughts of good and no thoughts of evil. So after you put down aside all conditions, meaning all your plotting, all your scheming, all your coarse desires, okay? Now, Master Huineng says, you should be aware when you do that. Then the key here for you is no thoughts of good or no thoughts of evil. The discriminating mind stops. Okay, that is the superior ones. Okay, the superior ones. This is a polite term, differential term when you address a left-home person, whether you're a lay person or a monk, you address another person, you call them 上座, meaning you are higher level than me. Okay, 上 is higher than me. You sit higher than me. Okay, So in the Chinese system, I think I explained it the first time we went through this. There's 3 levels: Shang, Zhong, and Xia, Zhong, and Shang. Shang is the highest, which requires you to have been ordained, fully ordained for 30 years. So that's the highest, the superior one. Then Zhong is middle; it has to be 20 years, and Xia is 10 years. Okay, and so that's why Venerable Huineng addressed Huiming as Shang Zuo. It's respectful. So again, the key here is that the teacher doesn't look down on his student. There's a difference in the way you teach in Buddhism versus you go to a university or another different environment. When you teach people there is different from when we train people. Here, Shang Zuo here shows that Master Huineng is respectful. Okay, remember at his level, he doesn't lie. He doesn't have to pretend anymore. Okay, he's a patriarch. So it says at that, with no thoughts of good, no thoughts of evil. Okay. Chân gì chân mơ sự. Okay, so you can drop the thus. The thus is totally is not necessary. This is a wrong translation. There's no need for just. Please kill the just. Oops, I shouldn't use the word kill. This context, Huiming trying to kill people. Okay, so at this, and you add very moment. Let's agree on this terminology here. Very moment. It's not just, but it's very moment. Okay? 正语. Right here. You Chinese, I translate it as very moment. Okay? 这个是名上座的本来面目. So he says, whatever Master Hui Neng said, at those words, Hui Ming was greatly enlightened. Okay? What is greatly enlightened? There's no commentary here. But greatly enlightened. Yes, two.
From what I understand, it means bodhisattva.
Yeah, he was enlightened. Great enlightened meaning that he became first ground bodhisattva or up. What is it called? Certain teaching. First time he taught someone, he employed certain teaching, and it worked immediately. What a great teacher, huh? That's incredible. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't know Hui Ming's level. When he ran after Master Hui Neng, we don't know what his level was. Okay? So that's something I don't understand why we didn't have more information about Hui Ming. I wish that Fa Hai, the monk who transcribed this sutra, would have asked Sư Phụ, who would ask Master Hui Neng, Sư Phụ, when you said that, when you recounted that moment when you realized that Hui Ming was attained enlightenment, what was his level before he got to you? I would love to know that. And this is something that's unfortunate, because I would have asked him if I were there. Same thing, I wish I was able to ask Master YongHua for a lot of his Chan instructions if I were there. But I'm not, so tough luck. So Hui Ming became enlightened just like that. Okay, that's Chan training at its best, if you will. Fascinating, and what was the sudden teaching instruction, right? So the sudden teaching is that at this very moment, that is your original face. In the Chan school, especially in Hoa To, I know the Koreans know about this. The Koreans are enamored, really enamored with the Hoa To. It says, before I was born, what's my original face? Am I correct? And that's one of the first Hoa To topic, or the Kung-an, that you would learn when you go into the Hoa To business, of cultivation of Hoa To business. So that's why this thing is fascinating. Here, Master Hui Neng gave Hui Ming a shortcut. Instead of telling him, hey, can you tell me what is your original face before you were born? Master Hui Neng says, put aside all conditions. Okay? And now you have been able to put aside all conditions, and your mind right now, okay, is on that verse right there. Let me tell you that very moment. This is very precise, by the way. Very, very precise. And this shows the genius of Master Hui Neng. So that right there, that moment right there, because Hui Ming was flip-flopping, was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know what I'm talking about? Of course you don't. Don't say yes, because I know you don't. Koreans, you agree, disagree? This is beautiful. I mean, we're witnessing something incredible. Because remember, in this Huatou practice business, we need to go there and investigate what is my original face before my parents gave birth to me, before I was born. Mas Hui Nang cut through it all. Think about it. This Huatou business here normally takes a long time. Days, hours, days, months, years, lifetimes. And Master Hui Nang cut through all that. He says, right there, that right there. Okay? That's what he says. Right there is your original face. The precision is just ingenious. To concubine, are you enlightened yet? How about you and Conk, the two ladies in Conk? You should be enlightened by now. See, you all have, the Koreans have the blood of doing the Huatou, you know. So, you have all the DNA, you know that? Your Korean culture has DNA, the Chinese culture has DNA of doing Huatou. So this, okay? You should be enlightened listening to this. So much pressure. You cannot relax even when listening to my lectures. Okay, so this is so beautiful that Can I say something? Can I tell you something as well? Once Master Hui Nang taught me as well. He did the exact same thing. That's why I know. I recognize this. Oh, no, this is not a yo-yo thing in your car. Hey, girl. You excited too? All right. That's all I can tell you. Okay, there are a lot of trade secrets here. Yeah, okay. Let's have tea. All right. So he's great enlightened. He's really enlightened. Okay? Okay. Now, 478. This is exciting. You know, I'm glad. At least I appreciate it. Hui Ming again asked, apart from the secret speech and secret meaning just spoken, is there yet another secret meaning?
复问云：上来密语密意外，还更有密意否？
Okay, 479, commentary. Hui Ming says, remember that at that moment, Hui Ming was greatly enlightened. So he said, I know I'm enlightened. You confirm it for me, okay? I agree, I'm enlightened. Okay, so that's why he asked. They use the word secret, me. He says, your secret words, okay? Meaning that only you really understand what it means. Secret intention, secret meaning. Besides your secret words, your secret meaning, your secret intention, because it's you or you. I don't know. Okay, you're the teacher. I'm a pupil. Besides that, okay? So he recognized. He says, "I'm there, but I don't know how he brought me there." So that's why the word "me" was used. Okay, so he said, "I'm still a position of a student. I still don't get it. I'm there, but I'm here and you're up there. That's why to me, you're me. You're secret. What happened? I lost. Okay? So, your secret word, your secret intention, your secret will, okay? Meaning you did things that only you know, I wouldn't know, okay? Are there any other secret things that I should know? That's what it means to me, okay? Because Huiming has wisdom then. He says, wow, this is wonderful. Would you like to teach me something else? Is there something I should be asking? And that's wisdom. Yes, sir.
Was it wisdom or was it greed from Wei Ming's part? Because if he already attained enlightenment, why doesn't he just kind of like hang out in that state of enlightenment versus being greedy and seeking for more?
Maybe it's a part of the greed there, okay? It's probably clearly driven by greed, okay? But also by wisdom as well, because he says, I've been under the fifth patriarch for all this time. I'm not enlightened. And in one short moment with him, I'm enlightened, okay? Anything else you'd like to teach me? This is not necessarily purely greed, but wisdom as well. Of course he's greedy. All greed. Okay, fine. 480. Huineng said, what has been spoken to you is not secret. If you turn the illumination inward, the secret is with you.
慧能云：如汝说者，即非密也；汝若反照，密在汝边。
Anyone would like to make a comment before I open my mouth? Of course, fearless too.
So Master Wei Neng really just kind of opens people up to their original nature, is what he's reiterating here, right?
Yes, and that's the thing. But I'm trying to give you some perspectives from a teachers who teaches certain enlightenment, certain teaching. There's some details that's not documented, that's not elaborated by the Chinese for a reason, of course. And that's why it tends to get lost. The secret meaning, the secret training gets lost. So all I'm trying to do is I don't have the wisdom to explain explain it entirely, but I'm trying to point out to you that the secret, there's give you more ideas about how the certain teaching is delivered, is imparted, is bestowed upon us. And I feel that somehow I do have a little bit more insights than you because he came and taught me as well in a very similar fashion, very shortly as well. That's all he took. Maybe Master Huineng is very lazy or something. We know he's short, too. But he's probably connected to Master Maitreya or something. Maitreya is done within one night, one day, one night. Master Huineng is done, in instant. He's even more lazy than Maitreya Bodhisattva. Yes, sir. 5'2".
Maitreya Bodhisattva is very tall.
Have you seen him in person?
No, the sutra says people. He's like 17 feet tall or something, isn't he?
Yeah, like that time. People live a long time and they're pretty tall too. That's true. So okay, you're right. But let's discuss this. Okay, he says, "What has been spoken to you, 于汝说者即非密." Okay. Immediately, Master Huineng says, "You're wrong. There's no secret here. What I told you is no secret." Okay? Why isn't it secret? From Master Huineng's perspective, it's not secret. So this is because Huiming used the wrong word. And Master Huineng has said, it's no secret. Let's get this straight. It's no secret. Because it's secret, okay, then I will not give it to you. Once I give it to you, it's no secret. Right? Isn't that don't we Americans have a saying, once you share with someone else, it's no longer a secret because the person's mom would also know about it, wife would know about it. Huh? Okay? So, what I give you is no secret. Okay? Meaning that it has two meanings. You use the wrong word and then it's really not a secret because I give it to you. That's why it's no secret. So far, so good? And let me explain to you why it's no secret. Okay? If you turn the illumination inward, the secret is with you. Also has very important meaning. It says that if you turn illumination inward, 反照, and this is a key technique in Chan school. 反照, you look at yourself. Stop looking at others. Stop blaming others. Okay? Whatever happens, in particular when you're afflicted, stop blaming others. Or if, let me finish this thought first. If whatever happens, you should look at yourself. So if you are afflicted, okay, then what do? Stop looking. You look inward, don't look outside. You're afflicted because you look outside. Yes? It's too complicated. Why are you afflicted? It's because you open your eyes, because you open your ears, because you open your mouth. I'm so full. Yes, I came back yesterday, I passed out for an hour. After lunch. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting because.
Interesting? Excuse me?
Yes, because the self consciousness comes from looking inside too much instead of looking outside. So if you're playing a game and there's people watching you and you get nervous because people are watching you, it's because you're looking inside too much instead of focusing on the game. Like if you're playing like a game of basketball or something like that, versus where if you put your focus on the outside and play the game, you wouldn't have that nervousness problem as much.
You agree? Anyone agrees with him? Sorry, you're the only one.
Well,
Maybe Teddy Bear agrees with you.
I think it's psychology, actually. I think it's psychology.
I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. Anyone else? No, you're just exactly opposite. You're nervous. It's because you let the outside make you nervous. If you ignore the outside, you're not nervous anymore. Does it make sense? Remember when you went on your first date and you're nervous, weren't you? Am I the only one? I remember the first time I asked a girl out, and I was, what's your name again? That didn't happen to you, huh? No, you're a girl, probably. Do girls get nervous too? I think so. Huh? That's what people tell me. I get nervous. Okay, so it's because you look outside. That's what makes you nervous inside. You don't look outside. There's nothing to get nervous about. Is that clear? You're a little bit off. Okay, like 180 degrees off. Okay, so you turn illumination inward. So that's what you do. So this is important. If you're afflicted, you're nervous, you're angry, you're greedy, okay? It's because you look outside. All you have to do is flip it back to yourself. Stop looking outside. Whatever they do outside, they yell, they talk, they smell, or they make a lot of noise. This is why we love it when, we have a meditation class here, and in the parlor next behind a wall, the kids are running around screaming and say, oh, this is fantastic. Instead of complaining and say, why are they so noisy? The kids are so noisy. You ignore it. You look inside. Perfect training for Chan students. Yes. 9.
Go first, Daniel. When you say Chinese DNA or Korean DNA, what do you mean by that?
Well, if you're Korean, you know what I'm talking about. Chinese, you know what I'm talking about. Vietnamese, we have them all, so. What I mean by that, Daniel of Go Force, the real Daniel Go Force, not the other Daniel. What I mean by that? What I mean by that is that these people, I noticed the Korean, the Chinese, the majority of them have the exposure because of their culture to Mahayana. For example, the Koreans in the Korean culture, they seem to be amazingly enamored with Mahayana. They are not that impressed with Hinayana, by the way. Okay? So when you talk to them, I notice when I'm there and talk to them about the Buddhism, and I differentiate. To be honest with you, I look at you differently than I look at I don't look the same way as ordinary people. I look at you and say, oh, you Hinayana, oh, you Mahayana. Very clear to me. Hinayana, 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 Mahayana, Mahayana, Mahayana. So I go here, H, M, H, M, H. You see? And what happened is that when I say the DNA is, I refer to the Mahayana DNA. Okay? Meaning that the seeds are there. DNA is your makeup. So you have Mahayana seeds already. That's very important. Without the seeds, there's not much you can do. Okay? And that's very important. This is why your heritage, your skin color, your yellow skin color matters. Yours is white, predominantly white, maybe 1% yellow. Yes, sir, too.
I'm Mexican, so does this,
But you white Mexican or yellow Mexican?
I don't know.
You don't know? It's very important to know. What are you talking about?
I definitely do not think I'm.
I'm 100% yellow.
I definitely don't think I'm Asian.
It sounds derogative.
No.
Okay, anyway, seriously, okay. The cultural background matters. So, for example, in Asia, most of Asia is under the heavy influence of the Chinese, more so than the Indians. Agree or disagree? You know, the Chinese went to Korea, it put a lot of influence in Korea, and then the Koreans went to Japan and greatly influenced the Japanese, and Japanese liked so much and went to China and give me more. The Korean didn't give me enough. The Korean held back on us. Okay, so you see a lot of cultures were greatly influenced by the Chinese culture. Let's face it. The old kind Chinese culture, not the current one. The current one is American. So far, so good. So that's what I meant, Daniel, by that you have the DNA. It's the Mahayana DNA. Okay, and unless you have that, it's difficult to train you, difficult to teach you. All right. So you turn illumination inward. So stop looking outside. Okay. When you look inside, okay, then you realize that the secret you mentioned is you have it. It's not outside. It's not from me. It's you. All I did for you is point out to you who you really are. Your DNA. It's not me. I didn't give it to you. You see, the first time we explained this, we explained it the way the Chinese explain it, right? Master Sheng explained it this way as well. You know, it's within you, whatever. No, this is very precise. I, as Huineng, when I gave you certain teaching, I simply pointed out your DNA to you. I didn't give you anything new. Yes, 5.
Master, so in sudden teaching, then the good knowing advisor points out to the student, would you say?
Yes.
Makes it possible for them to see it.
Yes. Master Huineng did. Right there. Okay? Right there.
Right.
That's what he did for Huiming. Right there. That moment right there. When you were right there, you fool. Yes, 9.
From Venerable Shen An, what helps a person to become or convert to Mahayana from Hinayana? Vows?
I never tried it before. It didn't work. It doesn't work. I don't know. Sangwook! Is Sangwook there in Go Forest? I can't hear you.
안 들려요, 스님?
Yes, Master.
how do you become Mahayana?
I don't know.
Are you Hinayana or Mahayana?
I think I'm Hinayana.
Why do you say so? You see, it's certain teaching too. Hinayana! Sangwok agrees with everything you say. Don't get fooled by that. Go ahead, Sangwok. What makes you think you're Hinayana? That's interesting. Chung Yin is laughing. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah. It's so relaxing. Sangwok, why do you think you're Hinayana?
I think I like comfortable.
You like comfortable. Chung Yin, comment, please. Oh, you don't have in. Is he talking about me? Yeah. You comfortable. Is comfortable Hinayana or Mahayana? Okay. Anyone disagree with Sangwok, please? Take a break, son. You're not doing well. What did you eat for lunch? Anyone disagrees with Sangwok? The guy has no soul. Go ahead, Master Xianjie. You disagree with Sangwok? They don't have the audio? Don't they have do you guys have laptops there or not? Internet? Oh, by the way, you're not aware of it. Master Chung Yin Sunim and Master Xianjie are in San Francisco, trying to get ready, to get the church ready for the summer tea. Okay, that's why it's their second day there. They have no food, no internet, no nothing. Okay, so let's go back to the Korean, please. This is interesting. So Sangwok, what makes you think you're Hinayana? Keep going, please, and go first, people. Feel free to pitch in. You, especially you, Hinayana people. A dead silence. Well, no, we Mahayana. Let Sangwok be Hinayana. Come on, Sangwok, speak up.
Master, I'm trying to become Mahayana.
And how do you go about trying? How do you try?
Working hard.
Working hard. You mean that before you didn't work hard? She sounds like she's crying, Working hard. Help her out, please. Those Koreans who have Mahayana DNA, help her out. 9.
From Emily, I disagree because Sangwok Sunim is not selfish or self-serving.
Go back to your gun. Emily is the police woman. Cuff her up. Anyone else? Please, someone, those of you, my favorite disciples, I've been training you in the Mahayana way. Help me out, please. I feel so lonely. Huh? Concubine, come on. This is when you can be the concubine. Huh? Why is she? Why did she say she's Hinayana? You agree, disagree? What does it take to make her change? Don't be afraid to get personal. This is a discussion that not only applies to Sangwok Sunim, but also applies to people like you who are Hinayana people. Okay? Yes, Hinayana person. I mean, sorry.
Yes, Master. Sangwok Sunim, I think she's Mahayana because she joined your group and she became your disciple and she didn't run off to the mountain and cultivate by herself.
Go to Chicago. Anyone else? I hate it when the girls say, "No, we stick together." We like each other. We stick together, girls. Yes, 3. Oh no, he's gonna stick with them too.
Master, if she's Hinayana, she would not survive your training up to now.
Does it mean you are Hinayana?
Yes.
Chung-Yin looks at Xian-Jie, he laughs, they both laughing. Oh, I'm glad I have no microphone here. He can't ask me. Both of us are so relaxing today. Oh, go ahead, JMT.
Hello, Master.
Yes, concubine.
헬로 마스터. 헬로 마스터. 제가 생각할 때 상호 스님이 대승인 이유는 마스터가 영화 스님이 제자이고 그냥 자기가 소승이다라는 것을 지각했다는 것 자체가 대승이라고 생각합니다.
Master, I think she is Mahayana because she is your disciple and she recognized that she is Hinayana. I think that is Mahayana.
What is it with Korean? They stick together? They sing together? They Hinayana together? Be careful, huh? Because Sangwok says, I'm Hinayana. She thinks, I think I'm Hinayana, she said. If you stick with her, then you Hinayana with her. This is not the time to be polite. This is your future. Yes, go ahead. 2.
No, I do not think she's Hinayana. She was Hinayana, that would mean you're Hinayana because you're her teacher.
I'm moving to Korea. Yes, 9.
From Derek, if you're interested in individual achievement, you're Hinayana. If you want others to succeed, you are Mahayana.
Okay, so Sangwok, do you want your own accomplishment or you want others people to accomplish?
I'm more interested in my individual achievement.
This girl is brutally honest. You know, Sangwok, you are right. She's so honest that she says, it's true, I'm more interested in myself. She forget that goes to prove she's really Hinayana as per Derek's standard, criteria. because that means Emily, Hinayana, that's Hinayana, that's Hinayana. And concubine, which we all know is Hinayana. Okay? Sangwok, be careful. You're hurting a lot of people who try to stand by you. Let's hear about Xian Liao. Do you think Sangwok is Hinayana or Mahayana? We know that Chung Yin knows that Sangwok is Hinayana, and Xian Jie agrees. Okay, see? Okay, Xian Liao. Okay. What do you think? Sangwok is Hinayana or Mahayana? Give Xian Liao a microphone. You can speak in Vietnamese, in sign language, I don't care.
A Di Đà Phật. Dạ thưa thầy, con không có biết tiểu thừa hay đại thừa, nhưng mà chúng con tu theo thầy, làm theo thầy và follow instruction của master là okay.
Master, honestly speaking, I don't really know whether it's Hinayana or Mahayana, but all we know is we follow your instruction and try to execute your instruction, then we are okay.
If you understand Vietnamese, Xian Liao never said honestly. It's Xian Ran who added that, who edited and added honestly. So clearly Xian Ran so. Yes, 9.
Addison Brazil said, Hinayana have not given up the sense of self. They take self-enlightenment to be ultimate. Mahayana works to the enlightenment of self, enlightenment of others, and perfection of enlightenment. Mahayana has no sense of self, others, or living beings. Life, if you have thought, I will transform a Buddha land, then you have a concept of a self. Koenig said, Samadhi level decides the person Mahayana or Hinayana. Miguel said, you become Mahayana when you reach Mahayana wisdom. Until then, it's an aspiration.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Okay, let me explain. Hinayana, Mahayana are not simply words. From my perspective, whether you call yourself Hinayana or Mahayana is not that important. Okay? What's important is what you really want. What Sangwok wants is that she thinks she's Hinayana, she wants to go to Mahayana, she doesn't know how. Yes? So for those of you who are protecting her and trying to defend her and trying to side with her, I call you traitors. Just kidding. Okay. Okay. It's interesting, it's important to make a distinction between Hinayana and Mahayana, and let me remind you, emphasize for you, it's more than just a distinction. Okay? It is important because it's important in the sense that it is who you are. That's about you. So it's not about simply a distinction. I think Hinayana is this, Mahayana is that. What is good about this interchange here is that for you, all of you traders, the key word I heard is that Sangwok says, I think I'm Hinayana because I'm more interested in myself. Okay, that's what you need to see for yourself. Okay, I'm driven by my own self-interest. I pursue my self-interest. Excuse me. And then she said next, I don't know how to get out of it. Okay, and that's That is the gray zone. Because you're in Hinayana, but you're aware that you prefer to be in Mahayana. That makes you eventually go to Mahayana. Whereas the pure Hinayana people say, I'm perfectly happy, I'm Hinayana, so be it, I'm me, you are you, okay? And that's a lot more dangerous, a lot more disappointing, if you will. Okay, Mahayana, if you want to go to Mahayana, number one, you need to have a desire. Okay, but make sure that to understand the difference in the desire to be Mahayana and where you are. Okay, so if you desire to be Mahayana, you will become Mahayana. But for you traders right now, you're Hinayana. Okay, so the road for this particular nun who knows that she's Hinayana is the change in paradigm. She says the way she functions is that comfortable is a key word for her. Okay, she will position herself to deliver comfort for herself. She will do things and say things in order to stay in that comfort zone. So it's self-centric. This is important, not just for her, but look at yourself as well. Okay? But in particular, for Sangwok, she's driven by that. She says, I want to be in this comfort zone here. That's definitely Hinayana. Okay? So the only way for her to get out of this comfort zone, Hinayana, is to get out of that comfort zone. So how do you get out of this comfort zone? By not focusing on your own comfort. But what about others' comfort? Forget about your own comfort. You're good at looking at comforts and managing comforts and realizing, achieving comfort for yourself. Why don't you do it for others? That's how you become Mahayana quicker. Otherwise, you don't do that. Eventually, you go to Mahayana. It might take a long time for you to do that. But the quicker route is for you to do what you excel doing, stay in the comfort zone, but apply for someone else. So instead of say, for me, what is comfortable for me, Sangwok, do you understand? Are you paying attention? Okay? This is what she does. She says, this is my comfort zone. I look at this. Okay? I'm teaching her. Instead of doing this, you look at it from another trader's perspective. And the other trader. And the other trader. Does it help? So she's doing what she excels at doing, but from different perspective, that's all. So instead of saying, I know, she should go out and say, oh, that trader over there, let's talk to her and find out what is her comfort zone, what makes her comfortable, and let me help her get there. That's Sangwok's skill, by the way. She's able to do that. You like it, Sangwok? Only my Mahayana allows you to be Hinayana first. And become Mahayana by being Hinayana. Hi, girl. How about some tea? I found this in my tea. Would you like some? A car? A truck? Compliments of Guru. Yeah. Okay? Does it help? Sangwok. And that's what The difference between Sangwoo and Zhongyin is that Zhongyin is more inclined to look from another person's perspective. Sangwoo is more me. Okay? And she's very good. That's why she can do this. All right. Going back to the real teaching instead of gossiping. Back to 481. Have you been paying attention, Xienan, or were you sleeping? I thought I'm here for training, but no, they put me to work. Okay. A very important thing here. The great Master Huineng, he says, return the light within. Stop looking at others when you're afflicted. Stop looking. Look at yourself. Why are you afflicted? Is it right? Let's turn the illumination inward. That's what it means. Look at yourself. Why are you afflicted? What makes you afflicted? What the attachment that makes you afflicted? That's what he's teaching. Stop looking at others. Understand? Look at others. You're afflicted. You look back. Why? What makes me afflicted? That's what it means. Turn the illumination inward. Are we clear about this? This is not theory. This is not just words. The Chinese make it look like words. 回光返照. You return the light, illuminate within. Okay? But actually, it's a technique. You're afflicted because you look outside. Okay? You know you're afflicted. You immediately look inward and say, why am I afflicted? What makes me afflicted? Is it clear? Okay. If you do that, the secret is within you. If you see what makes you afflicted, that is your secret. That is the secret of the teaching. Questions? Comments? Okay, yeah. Boy play. Play with boy.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about it, and what you said, look inside, when is really interesting, because I think the things in our lives happen because of the seeds of karma we have inside of ourselves. So when we return the illumination inward, it's really the only thing that's actually real in our world is what's inside of ourselves.
Too profound for me. Oh God, I'm looking something a lot more shallow, my friend. Let me put it this way for you. This is very important, okay? Okay? Are you paying attention? For those of you who are sleeping, you miss out the part we talked about Raquel Welch this morning. Now they're paying attention. This morning we talked about feminine men and masculine women. Listen to the Dharma talk this morning, you know what I'm talking about. So let's be very specific. Okay, flip up the photo for me again, please. Now my two boys are in San Francisco. Samadhi, samadhi, samadhi. Okay, yeah, good idea. Take the kids outside, please, for a moment. Okay. Let's take any photo just for the heck of it, like this one. Don't mess with me. What happened? What happened? Okay, let's take any photo for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. It's right there. Okay, boy, you should step out from. This is kind of, like PG 18. Are we together? Xianon, are you paying attention? Okay. We happen to be on this photo for some reason. I don't know why. Okay? But let's say you look at the photo and you realize you're afflicted. Anyone? Xianjie. What are you afflicted about? See, Xianjie is not afflicted at all. You see that? Xianjie is enlightened already. Zhongyin! Zhongyin said, I cannot hear you. Kong, go ahead, Kong.
We cannot see the photo, Master.
Lucky you. And for the sake of argument, okay, let's say you ask me. You ask, Master, you look at the photo. What are you afflicted about? Anyone? Who would like to ask me that? Anyone? Put it out! Yes, 3.
Master, from my perspective, she's hot. She has a nice body.
Oh no. Okay. For a moment, let's just recompose ourselves. Okay, I'm fine. Anyone ask me, Master, you look at this, what are you afflicted about? Anyone would like to ask me? What happened to this one here? Over here? Excuse me. And boys, let's not make this degenerate into something that's not supposed to. This is still very advanced Dharma, okay? I assure you. I am not sure I can extricate myself out of this. Yes? Okay. Okay, there you go. Can you see it now? Okay, now, if you ask me what I'm afflicted about, I will honestly tell you, ask me, because I can't ask and answer myself. It looks, it looks like prepared or arranged. Go 5, go ahead, please. Yeah.
Master, what are you afflicted about?
I'm glad you asked. What I'm afflicted about is right here. The hair is so nice. Yeah? It's wet. The Koreans are all laughing. The Koreans, they always samadhi, samadhi, samadhi. They're all laughing now. The poor Koreans, except for Kong, who are in samadhi, and Xian Kong, who has no idea what I'm talking about. She says, hair, what about hair? Okay? Go ahead, Conk. Okay, so, see, I'm illustrating a point for you, okay? If you are afflicted, like I am afflicted, okay? I look at this, I'm afflicted, okay? I immediately know why I'm afflicted, yes or no? I do, yes? So instead of continuing to look at the hair, I say, why does the hair afflict me? Because I like wet hair. I don't know how we get out of this, okay? Bear with me, please. Please bear with me. I'm struggling. I'm trying to tell you that when you're afflicted, you know what the attachment. My attachment is to wet hair, as an example. You believe? Please? Okay. You understand? Because we know what is our attachment makes us afflicted. So far, so good? Okay, let's move back to the lecture, please. Okay. Are we still together on the same page? No question right now. I need some time to recompose myself. Okay? So far, so good? I made the point. You know why you're afflicted. That is your secret. Meaning what? You know yourself, and no one else needs to know. Isn't it beautiful, the teaching? Me, secret here. Me. You know. No one else knows. You know. It's so beautiful. So profound. Am I out of the woods? Conk.
Then you find out you like wet hair, that's enough, or you need to investigate why do I like wet hair?
Go back to Santa Claus. Yeah. This girl has a lot to learn. Yes, 9.
2 questions. The first one's from Derek. It looks fine. What is there to be afflicted about?
I'm not going to touch that with 10-foot pole. Second question.
It's from Addis in Brazil. Can we go a step further? What am I to do with that information?
Oh, these guys are so bad. Brazilians are just so bad. Brazilians clearly are not Mahayana at all, nor Hinayana. They're Brazilians. God, I don't know. Yes, the Mahayana that I know cannot handle Brazilians. What it means is that if you know, if your attachment that makes you afflicted is attachment to wet hair, chop it off. You're no longer afflicted. That's all. No rhyme or reason. You don't need a reason. You know you don't want to be afflicted, chop it off. Wet hair, next time you see wet hair, so what's the big deal? Is that clear? Because if you realize it's a wet hair that makes you afflicted, and you say, if I don't want to get afflicted again, I should not be attached to wet hair. That's all there is to it. It's not that person's fault that she uses wet hair. She has wet hair. It's you who choose to be afflicted because she has wet hair. It's not her fault if she has wet hair. She simply wets her hair. You know what I mean? But don't explain it to that Brazilian guy, okay? Q&A.
Hi, Master. I'm wondering, do we always have to see that afflictions, the source of that afflictions ourselves, or can we get help from good known advisors or pointing that out?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you look within yourself, you turn the illumination inward, you should be able to see it. If you can't, then this is why the Chinese use a good know advisor, because good know advisor, hey, you attach your wet hair. Same thing. As long as you know the trigger, if you will, don't pull the trigger. That's all. Don't let it be a trigger anymore. Don't let the fact that someone wets their hair and you go goo goo gaga. Okay? It's your fault. And what happens to ordinary people? They say, it's because you have wet hair. That's what makes you afflicted. For us Buddhist cultivators, I should not get afflicted no matter what you do. But I know my trigger is wet hair. So go ahead and wet your hair. Anyone else? Another one of mine is handcuffs. Nine.
From Catholic Daniel, how can I get out of the attachment to Apple?
I can't help you. Why do you think I shaved my head? It's easier not to look at them. Okay, anyone else? God, there's a Catholic issue. We don't have to worry about that. We don't have such issues in Buddhism. Yes, 9.
From Miguel, does having a higher samadhi make it easier to chop it off?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The higher you get, it's much easier, much faster to chop it off. Because what happened is, quite often, you afflicted and you are not aware of the trigger. I call trigger, or the attachment. Buddhism is called attachment. Actually, it's a trigger. Okay? You're not aware of it. You just accept it. You think it's normal. You don't think about looking why at the source. Okay? So once you aware the trigger, the people with higher level attachment, higher samadhis, they can drop it off just like that. Yes, there's a lot more going on. I don't have time to sit here to analyze the rest of it for you, unless I get in real big trouble. But you like that, won't you? The spatial Brazilian guy. Yes, 2.
Well, I was going to say that the trigger is probably not even what afflicts you. You have the afflictions deeper inside of you, and the trigger just brings them out, right?
Yes. But one step at a time. Once you get rid of that trigger, okay, next time the wet hair is not going to afflict you that much. It's going to be something else. You know what I mean? It's... Okay, next photo. Handcuffs. Okay, so we back to 481, okay? So Isn't the teaching beautiful? It is so counterintuitive when you think about it. And yet it's so fundamental. We fail to look at the trigger because we look outside. So the lesson is, if you're afflicted, look inside at the trigger. And that is your secret. Okay? Finally, one final comment about secret. The secret is a word. Secret is a word that's used by Hui Ming. Okay? What is the Buddhist word? It's not secret. Secret is for Tibetan, for secret school and stuff like that. This is much deeper than secret. What Hui Ming was asking about is that apart from your speech, meaning just spoken, is there another meaning? That's what he's talking about. This is a very Chan concept. Okay? Yes, sir. 2.
Well, I think if you substitute the word true with the secret, it would work too.
Take a break, my son. Yes, 9.
From Derek, Master, what can I do if I can't chop off my affliction? Is there a way to, in a sense, chip away at it until I'm able to chop it?
Yeah, the fact is that what happened is that this is the secret. This is what's happening to us. We're not aware of the trigger. So every time I look at wet hair, the trigger gets bigger, much more sensitive. You understand? Now it's not just wet hair, but long wet hair, and curly red hair, and wet hair, and so forth. You understand? You actually, the trigger gets bigger and gets more sensitive, if you will. Okay, it's the same thing in nature. The affliction, the attachment, it grows with us as well. Am I making sense to you? Okay, so I give you an analogy. Is not just for in that photo. It's not just brown wet hair. And I look at the red wet hair. I say, oh, I like it too. But still, the trigger is wet hair. You understand? It grows. It adds more dimension. It adds more elements. Adds more attributes, if you will. But the core is still wet hair, if you will. So far, so good. And what if you can't get rid of it? It takes time. You have to chip it away. As long as you're aware of it, it becomes easier over time. Questions? Okay, so this teaching of Master Huineng is beautiful. Okay, I just explained to you that I tried to point out to you that the Chinese has these secrets here, has these superior Mahayana training techniques that's so casually revealed like this. Unless you pay attention, you will know. And the Chinese lost it. They don't know this anymore. Is that clear? And the reason you believe it, because I give you illustration and photos and stuff like that, but it's because of your Mahayana seeds. That's why you say, yeah, it makes sense to me. Okay? So the secret here refers to something that the better word would be unfathomable. The teaching is unfathomable. Because let me tell you the truth behind it. It's not just the wet hair. It's something deeper that you don't get. But all you can do is get to that first level. And then you have to go back. And then you go back. And you go back. You understand? It's not simply his wet hair. Actually, it's more behind the wet hair. And then there's more behind it, and then more behind it. That's why it's called unfathomable. It's not secret. So for me to tell you this way back here, you cannot understand. All I can tell you is about the wet hair. And when you get closer, I tell you a bit more. I tell you a little bit more. Is that clear? Yeah, laugh at me all you want. But for me, it's not just a wet hair. You understand? That's my secret. Yes, too.
Master, for myself, I've found that the triggers, when they show, when I see the trigger, I dive into it, I try to go back to the root cause, and if I solve the root cause, then the trigger gets solved much more automatically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's very charming. All right, can we move on, please? Thank you. 482. Huiming said, although Huiming was at Huangmei, he had not yet awakened to his original face.
名曰慧明虽在黄梅，实未醒自己面目。
483. Now that he has been bestowed with this instruction, he is like one who drinks water and knows for himself whether it's cold or warm. The cultivator is now Huiming's master.
经门指示，如人饮水，冷暖自知。今行者即慧明师也。
Okay, let's talk about this 482. Huiming says this is a statement of acknowledgement from Huiming. He says, yes, I'm enlightened. I agree with you. So far, so good? He says, you are right. I saw my original face. Okay? So this is what I kept on talking to the Catholics and the other non-Buddhists, is that it's called certification. They verified it themselves. It's not just Huineng's words anymore. Huiming says, yeah, I agree with you. That's me. Huiming is that way. I saw something called my original face, not just the words that people read or hear about it. I saw my original face. It's fantastic. You know, this is when typically you have fireworks, you have drums and bells, and you have lion dance and so forth, and and you have a party and you drink until you pass out because it's such a big deal. Okay? But for Huiming, he says, he acknowledges, I acknowledge, yes. Your teaching is true. Buddha's teaching is true. So far, so good. This is a very important moment for Huiming and for us as well. Because when we become enlightened, we too will be able to say, yes, you're right. I can see my original face. It makes you ask yourself, why not me? If Huiming can do it, so can I. It's a very important moment. Now he has been bestowed with this instruction. He's like one who drinks water and knows himself whether it's cold or warm. This is a typical Chinese Chan concept. A person who drinks water, he or she knows whether it's warm or cold. Okay, so it's a personal experience. Buddhism, enlightenment, cultivation is very, very personal. Okay? When we tell you about dhyana number 1, it's that thing that you will experience yourself. When we talk to you about samadhi number 8, it's something you will experience yourself. When we talk to you about 4th stage arhat, you will get there and say, you're right. Okay? So, the instruction here, the translation here, unfortunately, is not as good as the original. The original Chinese. The original Chinese is very precise. He says, I am gifted with. Meng is with, gifted with. Okay? It's a gift. Okay? And it's okay. Bestowed, you go from high to low. Okay? And that's fine. That's fine. But the Meng here is gifted. It's no hierarchy. It says, I give this to you. I give to the world. I don't ask for anything. A gift is I just give. Bestow, like I'm a king, I bestow to you. Okay, I'm doing you a favor. Whereas a gift is just a gift. There's no expectation. There's nothing that you need to do in return. So what do you want? A gift, or you want gifted or bestowed? Gifted, yes? Then you are Mahayana. You understand? This is very important. The translation here, you understand? I have a problem with this because it distorts the teaching a little bit. It makes it lose its original flavor. So that's why I implore you, you want to learn the depth and the precision of the teaching, you have to learn it in Chinese. The translation doesn't do justice. Okay? So he's gifted because as a person who has wisdom, who has the power, you're supposed to gift things back to the world. You don't bestow to the world. Just like you gift to your children. Yes? Same thing. Your parents gifted to you. You gifted to your children. Same thing the patriarch gifted to us. Now we gift it to the next generation. Okay? So he's gifted with what? With this true. Is true. He is pointing. Hey, you attach a wet hair. Understand? It's not theory. It's not about something abstract. It says, this is your problem. This is why you're afflicted. That's the nature of the instruction. Shu. Shu is to instruct, to unveil. Shu has more than instruction, it has unveiling. Make it obvious, make it appear, because you cannot see it yourself. So the original Chinese is very, very profound, very precise. All right? It's when the expression, you drink water, only you know whether it's warm or cold or lukewarm, because it cannot be described. You have to personal experience. It's personal experience. Okay? And what I have a problem with this guy is the last thing. The cultivator is now Hui Ming's master. Okay? No. Don't be Chinese like this. To me, this is deplorable. No manners. Bow to him. Thank you. That's all you have to do. Don't say, you are my master, meaning that I'm cool, ain't I? Don't you want to be my master? No. He says, I'm grateful. What he means by here, the cultivator is now my master, meaning I look up to you, I'm grateful to you. It's best to bow to him. I say, thank you. That's all. This is what the well-trained Buddhists do. Wow, express your gratitude. Don't talk so much. You're not my master. Yes, 3.
Master, does this sentence also means that he abandoned his previous master?
No, you can have several masters in Chinese. In Chinese system, you can have several masters. There's nothing wrong with having several masters. It's not like if you go to another master, I refuse to be your master anymore. No, you have to do more before I kick you out. Well, you're free. In the Chinese system, you're free to go and learn from someone else and call someone else your master. It's perfectly fine. Okay? Don't get offended. We don't get offended at all. What's good for you is good for you. We're happy. You say, oh, you're not my master. There's nothing wrong with that. We're happy for you found your own master. I'm a little bit disappointed with my shortcomings, but I'm happy for you. Okay? Anyone else? 225. If you feel that way, said Hui Neng, then you and I have the same master at Huangmei. Protect yourself well.
慧能曰：汝若如是，吾与如同师黄梅，善自护持。
And it's amazing for 485. It's for an illiterate person, a person who's coarse, who lacks manners, who lacks polishing, would answer, in such a very humble way. You feel that way, then we both have the same master. Okay? So take care. Take good care. Okay? Hu Chu. Okay, so that's a very Chinese. They're very humble. They say, "Oh no, I don't want to be your master. Let's learn from each other, and we have the same master." So far, so good. Okay, so just for summary today, what did we learn? Wet hairs. Thank you. We'll see you next time.